Hi and welcome to BNG. My name is Jude Chisebe. Today we put a spotlight on NURCHA, a development finance institution by the Department of Human Settlements. In line with the NDP goal of densification of our cities, NURCHA finances these loans to developers and contractors who in turn build high-density and affordable housing. One of the developments being financed by NURCHA is Linden Lane, a rental apartment block in Groblersdal Park in the west of Johannesburg. We went to go meet the developer.
My name is Ivan Pretorius. I'm a professional civil engineer by qualification. I started a company called Alley Roads in 2008 with the primary focus of undertaking property and residential developments. Our first development was successfully completed a few years after 2008, and it was financed through NURCHA. Subsequent to that, we've grown in leaps and bounds, and Alley Roads is now a holding company which contains internally our own architects, civil engineers, construction team, our own professional bodies as well. And basically we do a full turnkey for residential developments and other types of projects, which include the sourcing of the projects, the fundraising, the construction, the designs, and the actual end management under our rental company called Alley Roads Management and Rental Services. I think what we've learned from the implementation of this project, Linden Lane, is that our direction for change of specs around semi-face bricks, face bricks internally, epoxy walkways, and the upkeeping and the general monitoring and management of our projects has really paid off. NURCHA has been instrumental in our growth. We started with working with NURCHA on a project in Kempton Park. It was a small project, 34 units, and they took a bold move. We were starting up and they financed us. Since then, we've done quite a substantial amount of projects, and we generally get our finance approved through NURCHA based on our track record with anything between 2 to 3 months. Linden Lane is a 161 development located in the Princess Crossing area, Princess Holdings, and it consists of primarily 2 bedrooms. There's no 3 bedrooms because the 2 bedroom is the market we mainly focus on. It's a 3-story walk-up development, and it's gated, fully secured with the rental focus for industry. Basically, they can come here, feel comfortable that they're living in a secure environment, feel secure that their children have a place to play, open environments. The children are not playing on streets, they're playing in a secure area. The people feel comfortable. It's a community development program that actually allows people to feel value add in their lives. Funding for Linden Lane was a threefold approach where the three stages of funding consisted of the GPF, or the Gauteng Provincial Fund, Gauteng Partnership Fund, providing a small portion of equity funding, NURCHA providing an offtake for the construction portion, and Nedbank Affordable Housing providing the rental funding for the development. So how it works is you raise the funding to do the construction through NURCHA and GPF, and you finish the project, and then Nedbank provides the rental finance over a period of time.
Yeah, this looks awesome.
You want to take a walk around and see everything?
Okay.
I'm
going to take a few pictures for our magazine.
100%, that's perfect.
Right.
Where do you want to start? NURCHA's reporting process is quite stringent, and so is their compliance. You have to follow the rules and regulations that they provide, but the nice part about it is they're there to help you every step of the way. During the construction phase, there's monthly reports that have to be provided, not only on the finance, but also on the construction work that's taken place. And they also visit the sites regularly with you. So the involvement from NURCHA is not only, here's the money, do the development. It's, here's the money, how can we grow you as a business? How can NURCHA better develop you so that you're providing the right product to the community? The tenants' response to development has been very positive. There's a lot of good movement, got a lot of good interest. There's always a snag here and there that has to be addressed with tenants and additional needs that the tenants want and that they require, but we provide the basic requirements for a affordable housing development, and in general, 90-95% of your tenants are very comfortable with the product that you're providing them. Our company's main focus is greenfields developments. We love taking a vacant piece of land, rezoning it, raising the finance, implementing it, and seeing the project actually develop at the end of the day. The impact that we have in the community, I mean, if you take Linden Lane, for instance, it's a 50 million rand plus investment in the area. And the total number of jobs that we actually create from that 50 million is in the order of between 2,500 to 3,000 jobs created over a 12-month period. So the job creation, the investment to the local communities, the investment to the local hardware stores is what we focus on. And we try our very best to provide that to everybody.
Affordable housing includes rental units and units for ownership. Lily Field, the sectional title development in Midrand, also financed by NURCHA. We paid them a visit.
Goed saam. Ons geen oproepe vir u nie.
Het jy my notulen gedoen wat ek jou gevra het gister?
Ek het meneer.
My name is George Chandler. I'm a consulting civil engineer. I started off with this company of mine about 35 years ago, doing mainly civil engineering work, specializing in a number of fields, among others water purification, etc. 10 years ago, I decided that there are better opportunities within the property development sphere. And I met up with a partner, Henri de Toey. We started forming relationships with other partners, and we started buying up land with a view to developing that. Initially, we developed for the high end of the market because for the same effort, you could make the same kind of profit as opposed to doing a lot of smaller, cheaper developments. At this stage, there's a good market in the affordable housing market. We had properties that were ideally suited for the affordable housing market, and they were well situated, and we had to modify them, get higher densities for them, and that's the way we ended up in the affordable housing market. The challenges of working in the affordable housing sector are mainly centered around bank approvals for bonds. The people that apply for these bonds have difficulty in maintaining unblemished credit records. Unfortunately, this impacts on their applications. We find that often we have to resell a unit 2 and even 3 times before the buyer actually qualifies. I actually heard about NURCHA at a conference that I attended where I met a colleague that worked for me a number of years ago, and he was working with NURCHA at that point in time. He introduced me to NURCHA, and I found that NURCHA could possibly offer exactly the right solution for our finance model that we required for our project. I then engaged with NURCHA, and we started discussing over a period of weeks to months, and we then eventually found the right package for our project, and then we commenced with finalizing the finance proposal. We encountered certain difficulties during the project, which they were willing to assist us to address. We also changed our development density from 40 units to 80 units per hectare, which required additional funding. NURCHA knew about this in the beginning, and when the time was ready, we then approached them, and that refunding application went quite smoothly. We were satisfied with the way that happened.
Although the last 2 developers are quite established, NURCHA also finances emerging developers. After the break, we find out exactly who is eligible for this funding from NURCHA. Welcome back to BNG. I'm with Mr. Sizwe Kweta, CEO of NURCHA. He tells us more about NURCHA and what they do. How are you, sir, and what is your mandate as NURCHA?
NURCHA's mandate, it is to provide finance, particularly bridging finance, to developers, residential developers, and contractors that are active in the human settlement sector. We also provide finance to contractors that would provide community facilities like schools and clinics in the settlements that we are financing development in.
What kind of funding options does NURCHA provide and to whom?
Residential developers will provide project finance to produce affordable housing. And affordable housing in this case for us would be projects that deliver units that sell at about 600,000 and below. But we're pressing developers to produce what we call gap housing, which would be 450,000 and below. We also then have another facility which we call bridging finance to contractors. Now, in that category, contractors would be appointed by a department or a municipality to build houses in the subsidy housing, but they would not have the strength of the balance sheet or workflow, cash flows to finance their project.
What distinguishes NURCHA from other financial institutions? What makes you different from the rest?
Banks and other commercial lenders are not geared to manage the risk the way we do. And therefore, our partnership with the banks gives comfort to the banks that we are closer to the projects. And on our side, we are comfortable to take junior lender status, where we carry a bigger risk, but that bigger risk and that small balance sheet we have leverages a bigger funding capacity from the banks. But they have the comfort that they can on-lend that money because it's taken care of. And that's how we leverage funding from our private partners. And it works well.
What have been your biggest successes?
We've enabled many entrepreneurs in the construction sector to have gainful participation in the industry and transform that industry.
As a leader, I'm sure you want to leave some sort of a legacy. How would you like to be remembered here at NURCHA?
If you respect that you've been given an opportunity and honor to lead an organization like NURCHA, you have to respect the stakeholders and the track record that it has set. And that, for me, is in line with our company values. It's pride, respect, innovation, development, and excellence.
I'm sitting with Mr. Dean Gauteng, who is Programs Manager for Affordable Housing, which is one of the projects that they have, as he tells us about the financial processes that happen before you get all of these benefits. Sir, welcome to BNG.
Thank you very much, Jude.
Dean, what do you do here at NURCHA?
Jude, I look after the affordable housing program. We take care of the emerging developers and as well as the established developers that are involved in the residential market that sits in the price range between 350,000 to 650,000.
This affordable housing, let's break it down. What is it?
You got various different terms. People refer to them as charter housing. At the end of the day, it caters for purchases that sit in the market between 9,000 to about, say, 20,000.
There must be that one thing that maybe hampers developers to get to or to access these funds easily. What is that one principle, that one main thing that you can say has been in their way or is a challenge for them to access?
One of the main prerequisites in the affordable housing program is that the developer has to have a track record. And it becomes very difficult for emerging developers to have that track record. What I advise the potential developers to do is actually team up with a developer that has got the track record and has the ability to borrow. And hopefully, you've been through your first development, you understand the pitfalls, you understand approvals and the delay of approvals could have on a development.
And maybe one other thing, your due diligence. How foolproof are these?
Due diligence is extremely comprehensive. Okay, we start with the analysis of the property. We look at where the property is situated, what is the demand in these areas. We look at a wind deed where we see the sales that have taken place, what prices have taken place, how long it's taken to transfer. We then look at the town planning issues, make sure it's got the correct zoning, the correct town planning associated with the development. We then also drill into the title deeds, we drill into the sale agreements, should there be a sale and transfer of land. We also work out the project financials, we look at the cash flow, is it reasonable, we look at the income that's going to be coming in. So it is very comprehensive.
Dealing directly with developers at project level is the NURCHA's project manager. This person is tasked with the job of looking after NURCHA's investment during construction. We spoke to Khabo Mpiana, who's project manager, to find out exactly what she does. Mboje, harabolela ka project manager, harabolela ka motho mo yang ke motho audia, udi o shomodi eng.
Okay, project manager ke motho le goreng o assessa di project gore motho a humane tšhelete ya go aga dintlo so that batho ba kgone go kry-a mantlo a mantši mo South Africa.
Ke dutse kwa gae ke a nagana gore go ba le nna nka ba project manager ke tlhoka eng gore ke be project manager?
Tshwanetse o ye university or o ye technicon o ithutele ka construction management or o ithute civil engineering or o dire quantity surveying and financial management.
Mošomo nka re ke mošomo wa banna gabo o rata eng wena ka ona?
Se ke se ratang ka mošomo wa ka ke gore ke kgona go bereka mo officing and then gape ke kgone go ya ko siteng ke lo bona dintlo tše di agiwang, so impha lethabo kudu ke bona mantlo a agiwa and then ntho ke dira ko officing ke kgona go bona gore okay selo se ntse ke se dira ke sela kua se a bonagala.
Go tloga mathomong go fitlhela batho ba itsena mo ntlong ke eng e diang gore wena o ipethe sefuba gore no wa tseba keng ke šomile mole?
Ke thakgatša ke gore o tshwanetse gore go approve a project o tsebe gore okay tšhelete e ke e bjang e ke ba fang batho di-developer e tlo boa gape mo NURCHA, so and at the same time o tseba gore e tlo funda di-project tše dingwe gape so that batho ba Africa ba be le mantlo a mantši because re na le bothata ba mantlo, go na le backlog ya over 2.3 million housing, so if re kgona go aga mantlo a more than 30,000 in a short space of time re kgona go accommodate batho ba bantši.
Ka ke a tseba gore o ne di-challenges tsa gona ke tse di feng tša gago?
Di-challenges tše ke nang le tšona ke gore ka se sebaka ke dila le di-projects tše about 32 and the value of those projects ke 740 million. So you have to think or okay tšhelete e tshwanetse e boe back e ska no tsamaya fela e sa boe gore kgone go dira dintlo tše dingwe gape. So the challenge ke gore ke tshwanetse ke monitore di-developer because some of the emerging developers ke tshwanetse ke ba bulele banka e ke fetša o bulela bank account ya project ke tshwanetse ke patele di-suppliers for bona so that the money can buy the material that is required and then ba kgone go aga and then at the same time to make sure they complete and the project is delivered successfully.
A lot of work goes into financing these developments which have quite substantial budgets. It is only logical for NURCHA to do thorough risk assessment and taking care of their investments. After the break, we'll meet some of these people who live in these places. Welcome back to BNG. Linden Lane is home to Nondumiso Wandla. She rents a unit here in this complex. This is her story.
Hello, Mama. Igama lami nginondumiso wakamwandla. Ngiqhamuka eKZN eShowe. Ngifike la eGauteng in 2008. I've been moving around renting in Zoklala, but this one for me it's very convenient for my workplace. This is my first daughter, so it is very challenging because emsebenzini kune stress sakhona that you need to work on it, and then mufike ekhaya futhi fanele ufike nakhona uzame uku-accommodate umntanakho. The complex, it's nice. Every place got its disadvantage and everything, but we're not gonna get into that. But it is nice and it is free. You can do whatever you want to do. And then in terms of space, because I'm just living with 3 people, so I just find it was going to be convenient for me. It is spacious because with the little one, when she was crawling, when she was doing, she was able to moving around and everything. And I just like it. Everything in terms of shoppings and everything, it's here. Mangfunge Sondwini is just up the road, it's 1 case. Mangfunge shopping mall, it's 2 k's. So it is convenient, including going to work. Sometimes we also like to own your own stuff because renting is sometimes you use it as temporarily, but I will. That's my goal.
Clearly, the tenants here at Linden Lane delight in calling it home. It is always a lovely thing to see an investment turn around somebody's life in a positive way. In Lilyfield, we meet Caroline Mufokeng, who is a first-time homeowner.
Kalabito ke Majana Mufokeng, hae ke Sharpeville in the Vaal. Been in Midrand from 2004. The first time I moved to Midrand, I stayed at Countryview. From Countryview to a few streets away from where we are now. I was sharing with a friend, and there came a time where I wanted to be on my own. I moved to another complex a few streets away. From that time, I decided I want to buy property. I've been renting for too long, and that's when a friend of mine introduced this place to me. So I came and spoke to one guy who was an Asian, and I did my offer to purchase in 2013, but the place was only finished this year. Ke na le ngwana, a 10-year-old. In my head, I used to think, I cannot wait to be married to have a property, for a husband to come buy me a property. I need to do it on my own. I want him to have a home, because at my mother's place, it's my home, not his. So he needed to have a home as well. That was my motivation to buy. The price, it was about 579. Looking at my finances at the time, I could afford. Filled up an offer to purchase. They gave me the bond. I just moved in now in mid-July 2015. This place. It's that the rooms I think they are bigger than more kiduting before. He can put pictures on the wall without mommy screaming that, hey, this is not our home. You can't do that. There was a time Mo Ngwana could not get space when he started school. So I had to take him home to the Vaal. I look in a school of Vaal. And then the second year I felt, this is not working, because we've always stayed together. So that was another reason I looked for a job around here. And he came back the following year to do his grade 2 this side. And for me, it was bonus, because I'm working in Midrand. He goes to school in Midrand. We're staying in the neighborhood. So it's about 10 kilometers to the school. To max, I think it's about 8. For me to come to work, it's about 2 kilometers. So that's a bonus for me. And I give tulo yaka yapil as a homeowner, and it serves the need for now, but going forward, ke karata ho move out to a standalone house. More space, I love space, so I need more space. Into the swimming pool, enough space for ngwana to ho bapala. So let's say Mona and we plan to stay maybe for the next 5 years, and then move out and find another place and then re-rent it out, because it is his investment. This is for him, it's not for me. And then I will buy my own house later.
A house is an asset, and indeed a legacy. It is something you put in your will, as it can become a source of contention. NURCHA does not only assist businesses with finances, but they also give people places that they can have closer to amenities and well-serviced areas. For B&G, I'm Jude Chisebe. See you next week, same time, same place.